Hi, and welcome to this session on Security Buyer Live. In this session, we will talk about ONVIF, what this organization do, and how we help to drive the future of interoperability. First, let me introduce myself. My name is Levit, and I'm chair of ONVIF Steering Committee, and I currently hold the position as Director of System Integration and Access Communication. So let's talk about ONVIF. ONVIF is a global industry forum that standardizes communication between IP devices and physical security industry. Currently, we have over 450, closer to 475 companies worldwide that are members, and the organization itself totally member-driven. So one of the important cornerstones of the organization is that we work for interoperability regardless of the brand, and we're open to all companies and organizations globally. Since our start in 2008, we've been committed to our mission, which is to provide and promote open interfaces to security industry for effective interoperability. And our vision is to have interface that could be shared between all security systems. So let us talk about the cornerstones on ONVIF. As I mentioned, we work on standardization of communication between IP-based physical security products. Those products could be, for example, cameras, access control devices, but it also can be, on the other side, systems such as software systems for video surveillance, VMS typically, or access control systems. We also work to enable interoperability regardless of the brand. So this is in order to offer a possibility for system integrators to pick and choose from products delivered by multiple vendors, and you can integrate them in the same system. And we're also open to all companies and organizations. That means that if the company would like to become a member and apply, that's an open forum where we can provide a collaboration platform for members to work on. So if we try to picture ONVIF as an organization, what parts of the work we actually perform? Obviously, we work on the development of interface specifications. This is a hardcore technical development work where members represented by technical experts come together in the discussion and develop together its interface specifications. After those specifications are developed, some of them are packed into what we called profiles and add-ons. And this is a way for us to package specification in a way that it's fulfill a certain use case, for example, streaming. We also work with other standardization organizations such as International Standards, ISC. On top of that, we also provide test tool for validation of specification implementation and conformance. So have we been successful with that? Well, the fact that we have over 28,000 conformant products in our open database manifests that ONVIF as a standard is broadly accepted, implemented by a large number of companies in very large number of products available on the market. And in order to be conformant, product need to support and be tested towards one or several profiles. We will talk about that later on. Let's look a little bit into the past, the history of the organization. In 2008, the organization had been founded by Axis, Bosch, and Sony. And over the last 15 years, a lot of companies joined the organization and contributed massively to release of several profiles, both within video-centric use cases, but also in access control and metadata. Recently, we also introduced something we called add-on concept. And last year, we released our first add-on, which is TLS configuration add-on. I'll talk about that later on as well. So how can ONVIF help with interoperability? Before we talk about how we can help, let's try to understand what we mean by interoperability. Well, devices connected to different systems. They exchange information and sometimes different languages. Like, let's take an example from the real world. I'm in Sweden, and naturally I talk Swedish. If I would start this presentation in Swedish, probably you as a receiving party wouldn't understand a lot. So instead of that, we agreed to run a common language that both myself and you understand, which is English. So this is something that's could probably explain the term of interoperability. It's the way to agree on a common interface between producer of information and the consumer of information. So when two devices share the same common interface, they can exchange information seamlessly and they can perform functions in collaboration. So why do we need that? Why do we need interoperability? Technological acceleration drives the system complexity. So we have several trends on the market, such as acceleration of AI. We have cloud communication adoption. That drives the multiple interfaces being implemented in the system, and it becomes more and more difficult for system integrator to integrate different components of the system. On top of that, if you add multi-vendor environment, you will have probably a variety of interfaces as well, different vendors implemented differently. So it all becomes a very difficult puzzle to solve. And also, the mentality of building once and maintain forever doesn't longer work, because your system will probably need to adapt to your future business needs changes, and you probably would like to add additional features or add additional products into your system. And you need to be sure that your system is open enough to be able to integrate with the new functionalities. The benefits of interoperability is very much connected to the challenges I outlined. So if you have an open system, it's a cost-efficient setup. It's easier to maintain. It requires less effort. When you have an integrated system with the multiple products collaborating together, it offers you a more efficient workflow for your business purposes. Also, it offers you a flexibility in component selection and freedom of choice in design of your system, basically because you know that you can select freely from the multitude of devices that utilizing the same interface. It's easy integration, but wider selection of components to choose from. And it secures the future of the development, because you know that the products will support this interface going forward as well. That's all of that lead us to integrated system approach, where all products and components in the integrated system work together, share the same interface when connecting. It offers more efficient incident management, interaction with the events that are happening in your systems. It also helps operators to collaborate in the workspaces. And in essence, it helps in surveillance systems, for instance, to reduce response times, increase operational efficiency, and maximize the operator performance. So interoperability help integrating systems. I would like you to keep this in mind when we talk about ONVIF profiles and future of ONVIF. So let's talk about ONVIF profiles a little bit. Again, ONVIF profile is a combination of specifications packaged together to solve a specific use case. ONVIF profiles provided together with test tool that helps vendors to verify and self-certify their products against this profile. Since 2008, ONVIF introduced a number of profiles, as I mentioned, both in access control domain, video, and metadata. Some of the recent ones are Profile M, which is widely adopted on the market, that helps to specify metadata and events and analytics applications. And actually, it's probably one of the most fastest adopted profiles on the market when we see the number of products that implemented it. We also recently introduced the concept of add-on, and the purpose of add-on is to solve a more specific feature or specific use case, but probably it's not large enough to be a profile. So add-on, as the name suggests, exist in combination with the profile. If you want to be conformant to add-on, you need to be conformant to at least one profile before that. It allows also version handling. So add-on can include a technology that have versions. So if we have version 1 on the market of a certain technology, let's say TLS, when the future requests the technology to update the specification, new version of TLS, for example, add-on can be with version as well. Profiles, on the other hand, cannot be versioned. They're there to stay. So if you have a profile A, you know at any given point of time what exact technology is included. So the benefits of add-ons, it allows only profile conformant device or client to claim conformance to additional capabilities outside the actual profile. As I said, it includes something on top of actual profile. So if you want to add some new features to your product, there is a way to claim conformance towards an add-on, and by that declare conformance to the new specifications. Right, so we've been very successful following the market needs, and as I mentioned, ONVIF is a member-driven organization, so all the work we do is driven by the members. It's initiated by the members, it's maintained by the members, but also when we look at the future, we see information that coming from our members about the needs of new specifications and profiles of add-ons. So let's look into the future and what we have in front of us. Obviously, with the broad adoption of cloud technologies in security industry, there is no surprise that the demand for cloud standardization or standardization of cloud communication becomes more and more important in security industry. If we look back in 2008, the reason for ONVIF being established is to make the integration between on-prem systems easier. So basically between camera and VR or VMS. Now the situation is very similar, it's just different network topologies. So we have multitude of cameras and other devices on premises, and we have different cloud VMSs or storage solution that reside in cloud, and there is no common way of connecting those two components in the system. This is exactly where ONVIF is trying to help. So the use cases that we're trying to solve with the cloud profile that is in discussion now is connecting to a cloud VMS from on-prem device, peer-to-peer streaming using WebRTC as a technology. Obviously, recording to cloud is one of the important use cases. And also onboarding, how to get your product connected initially to a cloud system. So this is one of the work group that's been established recently, and the discussion is ongoing about how to package cloud profile. Following another interesting trend on the market with AI. AI is a fantastic technology, but it also has some dangerous drawbacks. Increase in importance of media authenticity. So in order to support industry with providing media authenticity, ONVIF is working on the technology that we call media signing. So it's basically a way for ONVIF to provide specification that vendors can use to make sure that end customer knows that video or content delivered by the system haven't been tampered with. It's authentic. So it's very important in order to provide a solid evidence in the case of incidents or in the court of law. Another interesting trend we see on the market, and our members really would like to contribute to this work, is specifying communication of audio. So audio, digital audio, growing on the market, especially in security industry at the moment, and it also brings the demand for integrating speakers or microphones to security systems in open way. So that's why ONVIF is looking into specifying communication between those parts of the system by designing an audio profile. And again, ONVIF mission is to support industry. So we listen carefully to the industry needs and industry trends. And with the rise of AI technologies and also with the rise of capabilities on the edge devices to produce data, there is a need to more reach definition of metadata provided by the devices. That means that we're building the specifications to enable communication of metadata, transport semantics, and enable uniform expression from the devices to applications. So it's I could compare that with extension of Profile M, but it's really a more richer discussion that we have at the moment. Profile M is a fantastic, but it rather limited in the use case. This discussion is much broader and following the recent developments on the market. So just to summarize, ONVIF is an open organization working with the specification for open communication between IP-based security products. We have over 28,000 conformant products. We have over 475 members currently, and members are working together to enable interoperability between different products in the security system. We have been successful with development multiple profiles that are broadly accepted by the market and implemented by the vendors. But we're also looking into the future with areas that we're addressing within metadata, cloud connectivity, audio, and media authenticity. And by that, I will conclude my presentation for today. Thank you.